Compared to other countries that are also attractive in terms of outsourcing, like India, China, where does Vietnam stand?
Yeah, it's really hard to compare for anything. I think that each of the country, each of the company would need to know their strengths and weaknesses, and then try to aim for or fight for the niche that they can serve. So for Vietnam, then at least then there's one positive thing is that I think the accent, English accent of Vietnam is more understandable compared to the other country. So English is one of the great thing that Vietnamese people that can have that benefit. But then beside that, beyond that English, I think that is the matter about the scale that we are not ready at the very big one scale. I heard that for one project, not that one project, for one bank, big bank in Europe, then they would need 2,000 software testers just for one bank. And with that type of the customer or the company, then I don't think that Vietnam is at the level that ready to take charge of that. But then people like in India, then they should be better to handle that. People like Cognizant or Wipro, they have like more than 100,000 people, then they can easily handle that. So for Vietnam, where for us in the market, I think that at this moment, then it's more fit to the small size project, the project within the 100 people. Then we can do a great work there at that scale, and we have the focus, and we have the quality, and we have the better price compared to the other country. So if it's more with the matter that if you can find the niche, you know where the market is, then you can serve it very well.
So for Vietnam, the niche market that we're looking for is small and medium size.
Yeah, I could say so, but it can change. It could change in the next 5 to 10 years. And that would be a great challenge for outsourcing company in Vietnam. And then the challenge of the scale impact a lot to the operation of the company, as well as to the labor market of the country as well. The labor market need to be ready to supply a lot more people. Besides the scale challenge, I would say that even if we can be successful at the scale, then we cannot really compete with India and China in terms of scale forever, because they have a lot of more people than us, like billion, and we are here very small. So the next thing I would ask outsourcing vendors in Vietnam is that work on their added value. That's the only thing that we can work in the long term. So added value, and then try to move higher in the value chain. And that's where it's still the same people, but then we can secure a better position in the business.
So far, what are the support policies from the government to promote the development of IT outsourcing here in Vietnam?
In IT sector in general, then the government has a great support. For example, then we got the tax incentive for the first 4 years, that we have zero business income tax in the first 4 years, and then after that, the next 9 years is around 5%, and that should be like 13 years that we got the tax incentive. And that would be great support for us. We enjoyed that already. I think that we need more and more of that, because in order to build a industry like outsourcing, it needs more than 20 years. It needs beyond that. So we need more support than just 10 to 15 years. One example is that India, then it took them like 25 years to take them to the current position. So it's still early for Vietnam as an industry, but then we would need more support on that. The next thing I would seek for support from the government is around the infrastructure, the internet. Then that's something that the government can help in terms of like working with the ISP company, so that we can have much better internet bandwidth more stable.
According to several experts, despite many potential, Vietnam has not been able to establish a center of product development. So how should Vietnam do in the coming time in order to attract more investment in the IT sector?
One of the challenges that the IT company in Vietnam now need to work on in the longer run is that to work on the scale and then to work on the higher value position on the value chain, and then product development is one of the things that is very promising, but then at the same time it's very challenging compared to the other service like outsourcing service. The problem for Vietnam is that we are good at the technical side, meaning that we can take charge of the whole technology life cycle for a product development, but what we miss is the experience in terms of sales, marketing, product management. Those are the things that we need to improve in order to get there, especially then for software product when we're serving the global market, the international market. It's not locally in Vietnam, and that's where we need to improve a lot in terms of understanding the market to produce something that people would buy.
What is your predictions for the growth of outsourcing sectors here in Vietnam?
Once again, I don't have the whole statistic for the whole industry, but then I heard a lot from the other companies about the growth target for the year is about between 20 and 30% a year, and that could be the same at KMS, and we target for that growth. And I could suggest that for the whole industry as well, between the 20% to 30% growth annually, given the fact that the whole side of the market, IT outsourcing market, is around 300 billion US dollars. And then currently then I think that US market is one of the dominant one, but then for the other market then it's about the same. Then they would need a lot of work to be done, and then Vietnam can be one of the best choice in terms of like quality and price, and then that's the hope.
Once again, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
And that was our talk about IT outsourcing in Vietnam with Mr. Nguyễn Việt Hùng, Managing Director of KMS Technology. Thank you very much for watching. All of our videos are online for you to check out at vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go. And goodbye for now from Hanoi.